I'm Jeremy Olivier with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. TSMC is signaling its commitment to Taiwan by expanding its domestic capacity to make its most advanced chips. The chip maker has been in hot water after recent overseas investments raised fears it would be giving away some of the country's competitive edge. Joyce Zheng reports.
TSMC is doubling down on its operations here in Taiwan by giving a rare glimpse into one of its factories that will be making its valuable 2-nanometer processors, the most advanced chip technology available in the world. The site, Fab 22 in Kaohsiung, is said to be the only other place outside the firm's headquarters further north in Hsinchu to make the 2-nanometer nodes. These are on track to hit mass production later this year. It's a class of chip TSMC says is faster and more efficient and is expected to create end products worth about $2 trillion within 5 years. The TSMC has been working to dispel fears that it could lose its tech advantage to other countries. Just this month, its head, C.C. Wei, was at the White House with U.S. President Donald Trump, pledging massive added investments to the U.S. to build 6 more facilities in Arizona. Some in Taiwan worry that with more of TSMC's advanced chips available on American soil, Washington could have less interest in supporting the country, a national security concern given Beijing's continued threat to invade. TSMC and Taiwan's president have both reassured the public that the chipmaker's most advanced tech will stay in Taiwan, a message alluded to at this ceremony as well by both TSMC's executive vice president YP Chin and the country's premier Zuo Rongtai. In chips, the goal of TSMC's competitors is to try and hit a moving target. These chips are constantly improving and becoming more sophisticated. So with 2-nanometer nodes on track for mass production in Taiwan later this year, the country is still ahead of the game for years to come. Alex Chen and Joyce Sin for TaiwanPlus.
Opposition lawmakers are looking to keep Taiwan's last nuclear reactors alive through new measures that could also lead to restarting shuttered plants. It comes amid pushback from some in the country and financial troubles for the state power utility. Chris Gorin reports.
Taiwan's nuclear power plants may get a new lease on life as opposition lawmakers debate extending operations of the country's last working reactor and perhaps reopening closed ones.
为因应国际环境变迁，增进我国的能源安全，修法使已停机之核电厂在经核安会确认其安全性以后，得申请再运转执照。
That last reactor is set to shut down in under 2 months, as the ruling Democratic Progressive Party sticks to its pledge for a nuclear-free Taiwan by 2025. Outside the legislature, protesters say nuclear power still isn't safe.
验证已经很清楚的是，目前3座老旧核电厂的位置呢，都靠近活动断层。那这些原有的核废料都没有人要的情况底下，你再陆续增加，那下一代谁要负责？
The debate comes just days after the national electric utility, Taipower, announced it would not raise prices, despite years of losses totaling more than $12 billion. Those are in large part because of a spike in fossil fuel prices. Around 80% of Taiwan's electricity still comes from imported fossil fuels, as a reduction in coal and nuclear power has been offset by an increase in natural gas use. Some say more nuclear power could solve 2 problems.
1 kilowatt hour only need 1.1 New Taiwan dollar per kilowatt hour. Gas-fired power plant is more than 3.4. If nuclear is allowed to provide electricity to the grid, that is not only useful but also helpful to improve Taipower's financial situation.
Others are more skeptical.
它台电的安检要花多少时间？要花多少钱？汰换设备要花多少钱？要多少时间？这些核电厂才能够真的演绎。我们国人必须要在有充分、公开、透明的讯息之下，才能够来讨论 研议这件事情。
The ruling Democratic Progressive Party says it's open to rethinking nuclear power. But with the last reactor still set to shut down, time is running out to decide. Fu Hua Hong and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
As oceanic fish stocks around the world continue to collapse, fishing fleets are setting out for remote waters to feed a global appetite for seafood. But their practices could have dire consequences for the planet's climate. A new report from nonprofit Outlaw Ocean Project uncovers the damage being done to a unique remote ecosystem. Jonathan Kaplan has the story.
You've probably never heard of the Saya de Mala Bank, but this shallow seagrass plateau in the Indian Ocean teems with life. It's a breeding ground for blue and humpback whales, sea turtles, and other threatened species. It is also the ocean's greatest carbon sink, and it is being destroyed. The bank lies off the northeast end of Madagascar in mostly international waters. It is about the size of Switzerland, administered by the small island nation of Mauritius, about 900 kilometers away. This means fishing fleets can operate there with near impunity. But one nonprofit organization is working to document the destruction of this marine ecosystem.
We know that there is an unusual concentration of industrial fishing vessels there, and a huge portion of those vessels are trawlers that are distinctly destructive to the specific thing, seagrass, that makes the Saya de Mala most precious.
That seagrass is precious not only for the habitat it provides for the many species that dwell on the underwater meadow.
It's a big, very important place, largely because of seagrass's carbon capture potential. What seagrass does is pulls carbon out of the water that ended up in the water because the water pulled it out of the air, and then it holds it and it stores it in its roots.
The Saya de Mala Bank is the world's largest known seagrass field. These uniquely adapted plants cover less than 0.2% of the seafloor, but store around 18% of the ocean's carbon.
This is really a silver bullet for climate change. Seagrass does it faster than anything on land, to the tune of 20 to 30 times faster than, say, trees in the Amazon.
In search of fish to feed a hungry human world, fleets of fishing vessels have descended on the area in recent years.
I think what makes it attractive is the biodiversity. You know, it's rich. It's not, you know, much of the world's nearshore stocks have collapsed. Too much fishing, too many fishing boats, and not enough fish close to land. So ships are going further to more exotic places to try to find the best catch. And this is a pretty remote place that hadn't been tapped before a decade ago. But for the last decade, every year, you've been seeing a huge buildup of vessels there.
The unregulated fishing practices around the Saya de Mala Bank are ravaging this rare ecosystem and speeding up climate change. Fleets from Sri Lanka and Thailand have been operating there for years, and so have those from Taiwan.
And the Saya de Mala is a place where there's a huge flow of tuna in that area, but because it's so far historically, other fleets haven't gone there, but the Taiwanese are now.
There are many parties to this destructive process that puts short-term profit above long-term global health. Alex Chen and Jonathan Kaplan for TaiwanPlus.
In the next part of TaiwanPlus's coverage of the Saya de Mala Bank, we'll take a closer look at the fishing practices that are wrecking that part of the underwater world and Taiwan's role in its destruction. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more of our stories. Before we go, check out these highlights from a downhill mountain bike race in Mexico. I'm Jeremy Olivier. Take care and see you next time.